Little Nightmares is an action puzzle platformer with survival horror elements. It was released in 2017 for PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. It initially looks cutesy in appearance, but quickly shows how dark and disturbing its world is. The design of the main character Six is what caught my attention. The art style is reminiscent of Coraline as well, with Six's outfit mirroring Coraline's rain jacket. The story is told without any words whatsoever. Six is a tiny young girl who wakes up at the bottom of a gigantic sea vessel called the Maw. She works her way up in order to escape, but is stalked and pursued by the creepy inhabitants that live there. As she explores, she begins to learn that the children who are on the ship are turned into meals for guests on the Maw. Six herself is famished, and it often becomes a race for her to get something to eat before fainting. What's really cool about Little Nightmares is how it has such a rich story that you can piece together without any dialogue. Paying attention to details and behaviors of the NPCs reveals more than any words could convey. The gameplay is kind of side-scrolling, but not completely. Each room is a little section that you explore, and the exits are usually left or right. Think of the layout of Fallout Shelter. Six is, for the most part, completely vulnerable to her enemies. She has to use her wit and quick thinking to get out of sticky situations. It is very much a survival horror and is terrifying. Most of your encounters will end with you just barely escaping the enemy's reach. Each chapter has its own villain to sneak around. The first one is the janitor, a blind creature that uses sound and scent to track children down. The next ones are the twin chefs, giant flabby-looking creatures that chase Six around the kitchen to turn her into a meal. After them are the monstrous guests of the Maw, who also want to make Six their meal, and the final enemy is the Lady, a mysterious woman who owns the ship. Each of them are terrifying and do their best to snatch Six up when they notice her. There are also small creatures called gnomes that can be befriended and will help Six out when they're able to. The way to befriend them is by picking them up and hugging them, and it's really cute. A lot of parts feel very similar to Spirited Away, and after looking it up, I'm not the only person who thought this. That made the game feel very familiar and nostalgic to me. The only downside is that the game is fairly short and can be beaten in just a few hours. There was DLC added that follows another child, the runaway kid, who was also trying to escape the Maw. His story intertwined with Six's and was just as terrifying, if not more. He explores different areas of the Maw and comes across a monster that Six never sees during her story. Little Nightmares is just such a good game and is so rich despite how small it looks and how short it is. It will leave you wanting to know more about the lore. It is truly a very unique and memorable game. I was slightly worried that I wouldn't like the gameplay that much and thought it would be different than it was, but Six is what made me want to play it. It turned out to be way better than what I originally thought it would be like. If you've been putting off playing it for the same reason, I highly recommend playing it. It has a mysterious aura and will keep you on the edge of your seat. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Leave a comment if you've played it, if it reminded you of Spirited Away. Thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. Feel free to check that out to help me out. Yeah, thank you for watching.